Now let's do an exercise together. As the question, it says there is a 6 centimeter times 6 centimeter square horizontal plane. The level of this plane is 3 centimeters. Its interval and distance are both zero. So let's remember how the horizontal plane looked like. It is here, it is parallel to horizontal projection plane and perpendicular to vertical and profile projection planes. And it says that it is 6 centimeters to 6 centimeters square. So this is how it is treated. Since its level is 3 centimeters here, and its interval and distance are both zero, we can locate it, we can position it like this. There is a 3 centimeter level difference between horizontal projection plane and our horizontal plane. However, these edges are intersecting with vertical and profile projection planes. And these are the dimensions in millimeters. On this plane, there are three profile projecting lines. Let's remember how the profile projecting lines look like. Here we can see the list of lines from last week's lecture, and here is the profile projecting line. It is perpendicular to profile projection plane and parallel to horizontal and vertical projection planes. There are three profile projecting lines which are positioned 1.5 centimeter apart from each other. And there is also a rectangular prism on this plane. This is what a rectangular prism looks like. Uh, uh, it has certain dimensions. Its width is 20 millimeter long. Its height is 3 centimeters, and its length is 4 centimeters. All horizontal planes of this prism are purple. The horizontal plane was this. So all these surfaces, the two surfaces are purple. Frontal planes are green. This is the frontal plane. So these surfaces are green, and profile planes are, here we see the profile planes. They are orange here. And it is positioned on this horizontal square plane that we already straighted. It's been centered so that interval and distance for this prism is 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters respectively. Here we see a 1 centimeter gap between vertical projection plane and the green surface back here, and 2 centimeter gap between the profile projection plane and orange surface back here. And it continues. It says that this prism is an empty box that has 2 millimeter thick sides. Here we see the thickness of all sides, all 6 sides, and there is an empty space inside this box. There are 3 horizontal projecting lines that are 4 millimeter apart on the bottom surface. So on the bottom surface of this box, there are 3 horizontal projecting lines. Here we see they are perpendicular to vertical projection plane and parallel to horizontal and profile projection planes. And there are 3 lines, each have 4 millimeter gaps between them. And there is also a 1 centimeter blue cube in the middle of this surface. So this is the whole system. As the exercise, we are asked to hand draft the projections of this system on Epure of Monge by using our usual drawing tools. We are supposed to color them after the drawing is finished. So we can start by imagining that we are at the top of the system and we are looking down and we are supposed to draw what we see at this position So we can say that we can start by fixing an A4 drawing paper on our table. We learned how to do that 2 weeks ago. And after that, we can draw a pair of Monge squares. These are our projection planes. We can choose 8 centimeter squares for each plane. Here, at this point, at this situation, we are above the system looking down. So we are seeing a horizontal projection plane in front of us. We cannot recognize the vertical and profile projection planes. So to start with, we are just concentrating this part of our appeal of Monge, try to ignore the rest, and we know that this line here represents the vertical projection plane. Since we are above the system, we cannot recognize that it is a plane. We can just see the upper edge of the system, of the plane, and here this line is that upper edge. And this is same with the profile projection plane. We cannot recognize that it is a plane. We can just see the upper edge. Here, this line represents the upper edge. So while drawing these, the frames of these projection planes, we need to choose one of these lines, and we need to go for the middle one. Because as you can remember, the thin and gray ones are the barely visible lines that we use as guiding lines. If you want to make sure that our lettering, our drawing, or anything else needs to be positioned, we can use these lines as the guiding lines. And the rest is for our visible lines. And we need to do the middle thickness, middle darkness lines in order to create the frames of our projection planes. So let's start with the surface that is closest to us. If you are standing here on this position, this purple surface is the closest one to us, and we need to draw it. Let's remember its dimensions. We see a 40 millimeter length and 20 millimeter width. And because of its position, there is a 1 centimeter gap between vertical horizontal projection plane and profile projection plane. There is a 2 centimeter gap. So if this line resembles the vertical projection plane and this one represents the profile projection plane, first I need to use my T-square and Z-square and measure a 1 centimeter length at this direction and do the same to measure this time a 2 centimeter gap at this direction so that I can find this corner here. And it is this corner of this purple surface. Once I find this corner, I can start drawing the rectangle that I see, the purple surface here. I need to go 4 centimeters down and 2 centimeters to the left so that I can create this drawing here. And imagine that we did this drawing. Again, I am using the middle thickness, middle darkness lines because this is something that I want to show to other people. It's not a guiding thing for me. Once I finished drawing this purple surface, that was the closest one to me. I can just move a little bit further and I realize that there is this square horizontal plane with profile projecting lines on it. I need to remember the dimensions. It's a 6 centimeter to 6 centimeter square plane with 15 millimeter gapped lines, 3 lines. So this is what I need to draw right now. And since the interval and distance of this plane is, they are both zero, I can start drawing over this line for 6 centimeters, and then I need to go downwards to create a perpendicular angle for 6 centimeters, 6 centimeters on this direction, and I can close the system. And after that, I can measure just 15 millimeter here and draw this line that goes under the prism, create 2 more similar lines. And here is something that you need to consider. While I'm drawing, I left a little gap here. I did not intersect these lines with the purple surface, the edges of that purple surface, because this is a trick that you can use. But please do not forget that this is optional. It's not mandatory. If you want, you can use. If you want, you don't prefer this method. This is just to indicate that this purple surface is above the lines and the square surface here. There is a level difference. This gap is to indicate that feeling in a better way. And you need to leave a very little gap for this. You shouldn't prefer a wider gap, otherwise it may cause other problems. Just the gap should be a little thicker than the tip of your pencil. That will be enough to express this feeling here. And now I draw the purple surface and the one a little bit lower than this surface, this square plane here. And I am just checking, is there anything left here? No. And now I can start drawing the inside of the box. Normally, I don't see that because it's a closed box, and this purple surface blocks my view. So I cannot be able to see what's inside the box here, but I need to give this information so that other people who are going to use this drawing can understand that it is an empty box and there are other objects inside this box. And how can I do that? As you can remember from our first lecture, there are different line types that we use in architecture. We generally use the continuous line. However, we can use dashed line. This one here with dashed lines and a little dot in the middle. Just we can use dots, or we have another type of line that we see here on this picture. We can use dashed lines to represent something that we do not see. This something can be either blocked by another surface, or it can be higher than our head. It can be behind our head, so that we cannot be able to see it. For those two things, we can prefer this dashed line here, but please do not forget that this dashed line should be created by using middle darkness, middle thickness line weights. When we say that this line represents something that we cannot see, many students confuse this situation so that they try to use this thin and gray lines, because these lines should be barely visible here. Please do not get confused about it. You need to use this dashed line here with this line weight, middle thickness, middle darkness. You don't go for barely visible lines. This is something totally different. This is a guiding thing for ourselves. This is the reason that it needs to be barely visible because I do it myself for myself. I don't need to express this to other people. However, with this dashed lines, I want to express something to other people. So I go for middle thickness, middle darkness. First, I need to draw the thickness of these sides. There is a 2 millimeter thickness on each four sides. So I use dashed lines 2 millimeters apart, offset from this frame of the purple surface. And I need to be careful about the positions of these lines. I want to create equal lines, as equal as I can, but I don't measure them with my ruler. I just trust my eye here. I try to make as equal as I can here, and the intersection again needs to be very smooth in the corner, in all four corners. This is very important for us. And after I draw the edges, I can draw the bottom surface. There are three lines, three horizontal projecting lines, which are 4 millimeter apart from each other. And in the center, there is a 1 centimeter cube. And these are still blocked by the purple surface. So I use the same line type with same line weight to create these objects as well. Here, I don't need to leave a gap like I did here because they are different. This is something I see so that I want to indicate the other person who looks at this drawing that there is a level difference between this surface and the lines here. However, here in the inside of this drawing, these lines and cube are the objects that I cannot actually see. So I don't need to indicate that there is a level difference anymore. I can just go for usual intersection and it will be all right. And once I finish the drawing, I need to check that if I missed something and I need to make sure that I represented everything here. Everything that I see, the purple surface, the square plane, and the objects inside the box. And once I finish the drawing, I can start coloring. Here is the purple surface that I need to color. And here is some more tips very important for you when you are doing the coloring. Let's say that you are using a colored pencil here. Every time you touch your pencil, there will be strokes on your paper, and this goes same with your markers. According to the tip of your marker, you will get different width of strokes. And of course, with your watercolor painting, every time you touch the tip of your brush, there will be brush strokes on your paper. Here, there are two important points that you need to consider. You want your strokes, either the pencil strokes, the marker tip strokes, or brush strokes. Your strokes should be in a position, in an orderly position. You can go for these 45-degree angle strokes. You can do crosses. Or you can do different positions, like you can go this direction, or you can prefer this one here, or you can mix match them. But there needs to be an order here, or you can try to create a shape that doesn't reveal any strokes at all. And for this one, you need to do your strokes as closely as possible to each other. And if you want, you can mix them with other types of strokes. And with each stroke, you will get just one shade that doesn't reveal any strokes, any lines at all. you can prefer one of these or this one here, but please try to do them in an order, in a nice order here. And the other important thing is, let's say that you choose the shade or you choose the strokes. Either time, your drawing shouldn't be blocked by the painting. We can, after you finish your painting, we can still be able to see the lines. The lines shouldn't be blocked, shouldn't be shadowed by your drawing. This is not we want. This is not you are looking for. This is the correct way of architectural drawing, in my opinion. Here is a nice video that we can watch together. Look, even if this person is drawing freehand, making freehand drawing, they are using the graph paper as the guides, so that their lines are very nice, and you can see that they are almost perfect. They are creating the same line weight along the lines, and please be careful about the intersections here. This is either with our tools or without the tools. This is what we are aiming for. And here, if you use this tip of the marker, you will automatically get a nice shade without any strokes. And please be careful about the edges here. You don't want to pass this border. Just going to show you one more example. Again, here, look how the strokes are parallel to each other. You can do this, and it will look nice. And here again, with the tip of this end, they can manage to have a shade without any strokes. And if you want to do this with your pencil, you need to do more. You need to apply more pressure so that at some point those strokes will be invisible and you will get the same result if you want. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, this is not you want. This is the bad example. This is not you want to do. This is what you are looking for. After you finish your coloring, either with strokes or without the strokes, the lines should be visible now. And since we finished the upper view of the system, now we can start the second step, which is the frontal view, so that our guy here changed his position. Now he is in front of the system and he's looking at this vertical projection plane here. And here we are going to draw what he is seeing at this position. We can start with the closest object to him. That's the edge of this square plane. And in order to draw this, I do not need to measure its width one more time. I can just use this upper view to carry this distance up here. So this is what I need to do. I need to place my t-square here and place my set square so that I can be able to carry this spot up to this part of my drawing and this one here up, so that I will be able to have the width without measuring its second time. So I have the 60 centimeter width and I need to measure just the level here for 3 centimeters and I can have this level here and this time I can prefer thin and gray lines because I am trying to create guiding lines for myself. So I need to make them barely visible by thin and gray lines because these are the guiding lines that I don't want to express to other people. Now, once I finished with the barely visible lines, with the guiding lines, I can switch to middle thickness, middle darkness lines to create this line, the edge of this plane. Since this plane is a horizontal plane, if the man is standing in front of it, he won't be able to recognize that it is a plane, and he will just see the edge of the plane. So this line represents the plane itself. And please do not forget that in the second step, when the man is standing right in front of the system, we are just concentrating on the vertical projection plane, which is in front of us, and we are trying to ignore the rest of the drawing. And we know that this horizontal projection plane is represented by this line here, and this profile projection plane is represented by this line here. So this is the reason why we measure 3 centimeters up from this line because it is the level of our plane here. Once we finish drawing this object, we can move a little bit further and we will see that there is this green surface right in front of us and we need to draw this. But again, I don't need to measure the width and the distance of this object because it is right in front of me. I can just carry this point up here by using, again, guiding lines and this one here so that I will be able to carry the width of this green plane and its position, the distance, the length between this edge here and the profile projection plane. And the only thing that is been left is to measure the height of the plane, that is 3 centimeters, so that I can be able to draw the edges of this plane, this green surface here, with, again, middle thickness, middle darkness lines, because these are the things that I want to express to other people. But here, again, I just left 2 little gaps with the intersection because I want to emphasize that this green surface is not in the same interval with the edge of the horizontal plane here. There is an interval difference. The same method that I used to indicate that there is a level difference, I can go for these little gaps. They should be no longer than the tip of my pencil. Here we can see it closer, so that the viewer, the person who will be looking at this drawing can understand that there is an interval difference between these 2 objects here. Since I finished everything visible for me, I can go for the invisible part of the box here. First, I need to create the thickness, again, by using this information, by transporting this information up here. And for the upper and lower part of the rectangular prism, I can just measure 2 millimeters down and 2 millimeters up here, so that these using these guiding lines, I can create here again, I used barely visible lines so that by using these guides, I can create my dashed lines here. I go for this dashed line, but I don't prefer the barely visible. Now I go for middle thickness, middle darkness to create my dashed lines because this is something that I want to represent to other people. And please do not forget that this line here is intersecting. This one here is the line that is in front of the guy, and I don't need to draw this line here back because they are intersecting, they are the same. So when I measure 2 millimeters up here, it means that I am measuring 2 millimeters between these two lines. That's the thickness of that bottom surface here, just like I did for the upper surface here. Yeah, so now I can draw the cube. Again, I need to carry this information up here. I am carrying these 2 points because they are representing the lines of the cube. And I need to measure 1 centimeter up. That's the height of the cube to create my dashed lines in order to indicate that this is something blocked by the green surface. And since I finished the drawing, I just check if I missed anything, and I need to make sure that I draw everything here. I can now color the surface again, but if I leave just a little gap here, I need to leave the same gap with the coloring as well. Just a little gap between these two surfaces just to indicate that there is an interval difference. Now I can move on to the third step, and our guy just changed his position to the left side of the system, and he is now looking at to the profile projection plane, so that I am concentrating on this part of my drawing, try to ignore the rest for now. And now I know that this line represents the horizontal projection plane, and this one here represents the vertical projection plane. And I can start by drawing the closest object to this guy, and it is this edge of that square horizontal plane. But now this time I don't need to measure anything because all the information is right in front of me. I just need to carry this point towards to the right. And when I do this, I am carrying the level of this horizontal plane. And after that, I need to carry this point up here by using my compass because this 6 centimeter here will be transported to this edge, and with my compass I will be transporting this same length up here with this perpendicular line. And for these lines I am preferring again the barely visible guiding lines with thin and gray line weight. And once I created my guides, I can use my normal middle thickness, middle darkness line type to indicate the edge of this object. And once I finish it, I go one step further and try to find out what's in there. I see this orange surface. Again, I need to carry the height of this surface from the frontal view. I need to carry the width and the interval of this surface from the upper view here by using my compass and create these guiding lines so that I can be able to draw the side view of this object. And once I finish the drawing, I can move on to the invisible part of the system. Here I can just transport the thickness of 2 millimeter upper surface and 2 millimeter side surfaces here. And I just forget to draw this line here. I need to carry this information as well. The 2 millimeter thickness of the bottom surface. And once I do this, I can create my guiding lines in order to draw the dashed line of the inner part of the object. And after that, I can just transport the height and the width of the cube to draw the cube itself. Once I finished, please ignore that that there was a mistake with the presentation. I just missed the dashed lines here. This is the right image. Once I finished drawing everything, I can color it again while leaving the gap here. It is important to prefer one of them. You can either go for gap, or you can either with the normal intersection, and do not use this gap to indicate that there is a level difference, there is an interval difference, or distance difference here. But you need to do the same with every one of your drawing. You cannot prefer gap here, and you cannot close the system. You need to do the same. If you prefer the gap method, you need to do the gap with every view here.